Chris rehabilitated himself enough to get back into the ring and even win the world title.
People ask me this, how's your neck? I said, neck's fine. My knees hurt, my elbows hurt, my shoulder joints hurt. Neck's fine though.
In order to perform at such a high level and manage his pain, he was using hydrocodone. Long-term use of this drug can cause depression, confusion, anxiety, and mood changes. So I can't rule it out as playing a part in Chris's death. And there was another drug present in Chris's blood when he died. Alprazolam, commonly sold as Xanax. This is a powerful anti-anxiety, anti-panic medication. So why was Chris taking it?
Today, fans and wrestlers are mourning the death Sunday of World Wrestling Entertainment star Eddie "Gory" Guerrero, also known as Eddie.
Eddie Guerrero was one of Chris's closest friends.
They were soulmates from the first time they really wrestled in Japan. It shocked the wrestling world because he was one of WWE's biggest stars. He'd been one of their world champions, and just snuffed right out. His heart basically just gave out on him. The wrestling world was crushed, but Benoit especially was really crushed.
Eddie, I know that you're in a better place, and I know that you're looking down on me right now. Knowing that I love you, I miss you.
In order to help him overcome his grief, Nancy bought Chris a devotional journal. In it, he expressed his feelings of loss.
He was very upset about Eddie's death. He also says at one point that I will be with you soon. So it appears as though he was having some thoughts about his own mortality.
The death of Eddie Guerrero was the most traumatic event in Chris Benoit's life. It was a turning point. His personality seemed to take a shift. He became more humorless and more intense and more introverted and of a darker cast of mind.
The drug Chris was taking, alprazolam, is a benzodiazepine. It works by inhibiting a neurotransmitter called GABA, which is responsible for how calm we feel. The drug slows brain activity, causing a calming effect on the user, and Chris may have used it to help him sleep during his period of grieving. Studies have shown that while benzodiazepines induce a sense of calm, they can also trigger feelings of depression.
Coupled with Eddie Guerrero's death were a number of other deaths around the same time.
During that generation of wrestlers, you see a mortality rate that some have estimated as higher than Marines in combat zones or drug dealers in inner cities.
All these contributed, for sure, to Chris's mental state. He was probably walking around in a constant state of, who's next? Am I next? Or is this guy next? It had to weigh heavily on him.
Towards the end of Chris's life, he begins to lose a lot of people around him. And I think that would have sensitized him to his own vulnerability, right? I think for most people, whether they're in a sport or an environment that has that kind of self-idea, right? This is never going to be a job he's going to do into his 60s and 70s. What it does is it kind of starts this existential crisis.